Paper 9. Relation of the Infinite Spirit to the Universe. A strange thing occurred when, in the presence of Paradise, the Universal Father and the Eternal Son unite to personalize themselves. Nothing in this eternity situation foreshadows that the conjoint actor would personalize as an unlimited spirituality, coordinated with absolute mind, and endowed with unique prerogatives of energy manipulation. His coming into being completes the Father's liberation from the bonds of centralized perfection and from the fetters of personality absolutism. And this liberation is disclosed in the amazing power of the conjoint Creator to create beings well adapted to serve as ministering spirits even to the material creatures of the subsequently evolving universes. The Father is infinite in love and volition, in spiritual thought and purpose. He is the universal upholder. The Son is infinite in wisdom and truth, in spiritual expression and interpretation. He is the universal revealer. Paradise is infinite in potential for force endowment and in capacity for energy dominance. It is the universal stabilizer. The conjoint actor possesses unique prerogatives of synthesis, infinite capacity to coordinate all existing universe energies, all actual universe spirits, and all real universe intellects. The third source and center is the universal unifier of the manifold energies and diverse creations which have appeared in consequence of the divine plan and the eternal purpose of the Universal Father. The Infinite Spirit, the conjoint Creator, is a universal and divine minister. The Spirit unceasingly ministers the Son's mercy and the Father's love, even in harmony with the stable, unvarying, and righteous justice of the Paradise Trinity. His influence and personalities are ever near you. They really know and truly understand you. Throughout the universes, the agencies of the conjoint actor ceaselessly manipulate the forces and energies of all space. Like the first source and center, the third is responsible to both the spiritual and the material. The conjoint actor is the revelation of the unity of God, in whom all things consist: things, meanings, and values, energies, minds, and spirits. The Infinite Spirit pervades all space. He indwells the circle of eternity, and the Spirit, like the Father and the Son, is perfect and changeless, absolute. 1. Attributes of the third source and center. The third source and center is known by many names, all designative of relationship and in recognition of function. As God the Spirit, He is the personality coordinate and divine equal of God the Son and God the Father. As the Infinite Spirit, He is an omnipresent spiritual influence. As the universal manipulator, He is the ancestor of the power-control creatures and the activator of the cosmic forces of space. As the conjoint actor, He is the joint representative and partnership executive of the Father-Son. As the absolute mind, He is the source of the endowment of intellect throughout the universes. As the God of action, He is the apparent ancestor of motion, change, and relationship. Some of the attributes of the third source and center are derived from the Father, some from the Son, while still others are not observed to be actively and personally present in either the Father or the Son, attributes that can hardly be explained except by assuming that the Father-Son partnership, which eternalizes the third source and center, consistently functions in consonance with and in recognition of the eternal fact of the absoluteness of Paradise. The conjoint Creator embodies the fullness of the combined and infinite concepts of the first and second persons of deity. While you envisage the Father as an original creator and the Son as a spiritual administrator, you should think of the third source and center as a universal coordinator, a minister of unlimited cooperation. The conjoint actor is the correlator of all actual reality. He is the deity repository of the Father's thought and the Son's word, and in action is eternally regardful of the material absoluteness of the central isle. The Paradise Trinity has ordained the universal order of progress, and the providence of God is the domain of the conjoint Creator and the evolving Supreme Being. No actual or actualizing reality can escape eventual relationship with the third source and center. The Universal Father presides over the realms of pre-energy, pre-spirit, and personality. The eternal Sun dominates the spheres of spiritual activities. The presence of the Isle of Paradise unifies the domain of physical energy and materializing power. The conjoint actor operates not only as an infinite spirit representing the Sun, but also as a universal manipulator of the forces and energies of Paradise, thus bringing into existence the universal and absolute mind. The conjoint actor functions throughout the grand universe as a positive and distinct personality, especially in the higher spheres of spiritual values, physical energy relationships, and true mind meanings. He functions specifically wherever and whenever energy and spirit associate and interact. He dominates all reactions with mind, wields great power in the spiritual world, and exerts a mighty influence over energy and matter. At all times, the third source is expressive of the nature of the first source and center. The third source and center perfectly and without qualification shares the omnipresence of the first source and center, sometimes being called the omnipresent spirit. In a peculiar and very personal manner, the God of mind shares the omniscience of the Universal Father and His eternal Son. The knowledge of the Spirit is profound and complete. The conjoint Creator manifests certain phases of the omnipotence of the Universal Father, but is actually omnipotent only in the domain of mind. The third person of deity is the intellectual center and the universal administrator of the mind realms. Herein he is absolute. His sovereignty is unqualified. The conjoint actor seems to be motivated by the father-son partnership, but all his actions appear to recognize the father-paradise relationship. At times and in certain functions, he seems to compensate for the incompleteness of the development of the experiential deities, God the Supreme and God the Ultimate. And herein is an infinite mystery, that the infinite simultaneously revealed his infinity in the Son and as Paradise, and then there springs into existence a being equal to God in divinity, reflective of the Son's spiritual nature, and capable of activating the Paradise pattern, a being provisionally subordinate in sovereignty, but in many ways apparently the most versatile in action. And such apparent superiority in action is disclosed in an attribute of the third source and center, which is superior even to physical gravity, the universal manifestation of the Isle of Paradise. In addition to this super-control of energy in things physical, the infinite spirit is superbly endowed with those attributes of patience, mercy, and love which are so exquisitely revealed in his spiritual ministry. The Spirit is supremely competent to minister love and to overshadow justice with mercy. God the Spirit possesses all the supernal kindness and merciful affection of the original and eternal Son. The universe of your origin is being forged out between the anvil of justice and the hammer of suffering, but those who wield the hammer are the children of mercy, the spirit offspring of the infinite Spirit. 2. The Omnipresent Spirit. God is Spirit in a threefold sense. He himself is Spirit. In his Son he appears as Spirit without qualification. In the conjoint actor as Spirit allied with mind. And in addition to these spiritual realities, we think we discern levels of experiential spirit phenomena, the spirits of the Supreme Being, Ultimate Deity, and Deity Absolute. The Infinite Spirit is just as much a complement of the Eternal Son as the Son is a complement of the Universal Father. The Eternal Son is a spiritualized personalization of the Father. The Infinite Spirit is a personalized spiritualization of the Eternal Son and the Universal Father. There are many untrammeled lines of spiritual force and sources of supermaterial power linking the people of Urantia directly with the deities of Paradise. There exists the connection of the thought adjusters direct with the Universal Father, the widespread influence of the spiritual gravity urge of the Eternal Son, and the spiritual presence of the conjoint Creator. There is a difference in function between the Spirit of the Son and the Spirit of the Spirit. The third person in his spiritual ministry may function as mind plus spirit, or as spirit alone. In addition to these Paradise presences, Urantians benefit by the spiritual influences and activities of the local and the super-universe, with their almost endless array of loving personalities who ever lead the true of purpose and the honest of heart upward and inward towards the ideals of divinity and the goal of supreme perfection. The presence of the universal spirit of the eternal Son we know, we can unmistakably recognize.